Welcome back, folks. Well, we hit a big milestone today, or a milestone came in today. So you can imagine probably what it is. Finally arrived. So yes, it's our transmission. So just arrived yesterday from SilverSport transmission. It's an automatic transmission. It's called the A41 package, and it's just for 67 through 69, I think, or maybe 72 Mopar A body. So let's check it out. And there it is, right there. Yep, you guessed it. It is a 4L60E GM style transmission. And it has a bell housing to adapt over to our G3 Hemi. Has the, looks like we got the converter, everything. So yes, it is a 4L60E. We can get into that, talk about why I went with this transmission. But once we get it out, get it on the stand, I'll review that with everybody. But it came with obviously the transmission. This is a stage 2. So a stage 2, it's built, I think, up to 600. It's good for 600 horsepower and 650 foot-pounds of torque, I believe. So, or 600 foot-pounds of torque. The dyno, the Hemi dynoed at 584.5, 580, let's just call it 585. And the torque on it, I believe, was 510 or 515. So, it's well within the range of being able to handle the output of the engine. Now, this thing came with really nice. It came with a cooler right here. Now this is mandatory on stage 2, and then they have a stage 3. Stage 3 is built to handle even more power, but gave us some cooler lines here. We've got our transmission cross member here. And I'm assuming these are the adapters for it to adapt over for the 4L60E. We've got a shifter cable. We've got a speedometer cable. So yeah, lots going on here. And then some adapter lines right here probably go into the transmission. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody, for those that are asking, why in the hell did you go with a GM style transmission? I'm going to make it very simple. This transmission, with the harness that I have, works with that Holley Terminator that's on the car. This is plug and play. I don't need kickdown linkage. I don't need cables. It all talks to that right there. It's going to do everything we want it to do for the programming and everything. I ordered this without the computer that comes with this. I think the computer is an extra $500–600. But SilverSport said, hey, if you're running a Holley Terminator, you just go ahead and plug it into that. You don't even need the computer. So that's a great thing. Another thing is, yeah, I raced with the Mopar transmission. They're great transmissions. And they're overdrives now. I'm sure they've got them improved. They're wonderful transmissions. But let me show you all we had to do, supposedly, to make this fit. We're going to find out. Now, per SilverSport's instructions, this is what you need to do to get it to fit. When Just Mopar Joe had this car and he was doing all his awesome paint and body work, I sent him the prints and the instructions from SilverSport, and Joe said, I can go ahead, well, I've got the car, I'll go ahead and make it, I can go ahead and cut and do everything they want you to do. So Joe did a nice job on that. So once we get this thing up on the stand, we're gonna see how well it fits. But I didn't have to cut all this stuff out. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably say, well, that same thing will happen with the Mopar 46RE. Here's why I didn't go with the Mopar 46RE. Is one, it's not a plug and play with the Terminator. I wish it was. Number two, when you go in and out of overdrive and say the lockup converter and all that, you've got to flip this switch when you slow down and then hit this button when you want to kick out of your overdrive. I mean, for most, it's no big deal, right? But my daughter's going to be driving this car. My wife's going to be driving this car. I just want them to be able to get in the car, turn the key, put it in overdrive, and go. That's it. I don't have to do all that silly stuff. Again, no marks against the Mopar transmissions. They're great, but this is what I decided to go with. This is a resto mod. Number two, when I go to a car show, you know, is somebody gonna be there saying, I need to see what transmission you have before you come into the car show? I think not. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start getting this thing installed, and let's see how this SilverSport automatic transmission goes in behind this Hemi. Get this thing on the, you're gonna have, all right, so Trish and I got the transmission up on the stand here. Now let me tell you, I didn't realize this thing is gonna come with fluid in it. So it's in a bag, but make sure when you go to lift it up, this thing is extremely heavy. I'm 54 years old, and I'm not gonna go have any more accidents like I've had in the past by not using my head. But anyway, just beware when you get ready to put this thing, if you tilt it up, fluid's gonna go everywhere. So getting started, I just wanted to show everybody, it goes over the removal process of what you had. We obviously never had a transmission in after the Hemi went in, but this is what I had sent something similar to Joe, and he did a fantastic job of prepping our transmission tunnel for this engine. There probably has something to do in this area here. We're gonna find out. So the first thing they want us to do when we get ready to, before we install the transmission, is attach components to transmission. They want us to go ahead and put our cooler lines on right here, the flex line. So let's get these on. Shipped with, these look like they were probably some kind of quick install our adapters. Make sure you use the Teflon paste. Now install your 90-degree adapter. Get them tight, not over tighten, but just hook up our hydraulic flex hose. All right, some pre-work to do before we go installing transmissions. They want you to test your mini starter. This is a Dodge Dakota starter I use for all my Mopars. 440s, big blocks. You can run it on the Hemi. I run it on our test stand. They want to make sure that this right here, the pilot, goes into the adapter, pilot adapter on the bell housing. And this is your spacer. So let's see how well it fits. Let's go ahead and cinch it up just to make sure. Just want to go ahead and tighten it, make sure everything fits well. All flush. So make sure. Next, they want us to go ahead and put the isolator on. Not sure why right now, but maybe it's just easier to get to. So here we go. Now we're going to attach our flex plate to the spec'd out flex plate, and it says engine side. So certain fashion, so it's not just any. Our flex plate instructions didn't say anything about what the torque value was. It's from the flex plate bolts to the crank. But I looked up G3 Hemi 5.7, 6.4, 6.1, and they're all 70 foot-pounds from the factory. So I'm gonna go ahead and torque these to 70 foot-pounds. All right, we just crossed one issue right here. It's not a showstopper for today, but it will be to get this thing up and running. This is my 4L60, I thought E transmission adapter that plugs into the Sniper. That's right here. I mean, excuse me, to the Terminator X-Max. But the adapter here for the computer on lines on the adapter here keep us from getting the transmission in, but I'm gonna have to call. Roadblock number 2. Well, as you can see, our TTI headers come back in as most headers do, and they hug the transmission. So there's no way with this starter ear right here that it's going to go in. It looks like we're probably going to have to loosen that header, but on the driver's side. Then I'm looking back here. It might go in. Let us finagle this a little bit. that way.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's in. Not to say that it didn't fight us, I'm gonna tell you. So, Trish was right. God bless her. She said, no, we do not have to remove the header. Got back here, and sure enough, guys, listen to your wife. Now, here's where it fought us. Did not know, didn't say the directions, but you see the pinch weld up there? The pinch weld fought us. You get up to a certain point, it doesn't say anything that I saw in the directions about the pinch weld. On the other side, the pinch weld, there is a country mile. But on this side, I highly advise, just go around your pinch weld, and if you can just grind it down, whatever, fold it up, whatever, that's what you're gonna have to do, because that bell housing is gonna hit that pinch weld. Otherwise, it will suck right on in. Now, you look back here, that oscillator is going to kick this off to one side, and they want you to use your original cross member bolts. Obviously, I got rid of them. I gave them away like a dummy, but these will do. These are the right size. I need to get 2 more. You're going to have to take your little all whatever in there. You're going to have to kind of pull it over, because this oscillator will kick it over. But as you can see now, it's lined up. Once I'll probably have to obviously on this side maybe kick it over. I don't know. But if this is the only one I've got to enlarge, I'm golden. Now, here's another thing. So on the bell housing bolts, that top bell housing bolt, I could not get to it from this side over here. So I'm going to have to figure out if I can get it from the top, because I don't have any Keebler elves that I can hire. So I've got 2 more bolts to put in, but even before I put those in, I want to make sure that this converter is going to spin freely, and I can move it, but I think that it's in so far that it's hard to move. But yeah, I can move it. So let's get some measurements and let's see how far I've got to pull it back, because if you pull it back too far, you're going to pull it out of that O-ring in there, out of that pump. They tell you that. So let's get that part done first. All right, another stop point. First, we don't have the converter bolts. I don't know why, but they didn't send the converter bolts. Secondly, they want you to have a certain gap, no more than I believe 187 between the air gap between the pads, and you can see right there, and the flex plate. So we got a lot more than, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but yeah, we got a lot more than 187. So they give you these shims. So we're gonna have to figure out how to slide these shims, calculating this and what we've got up there. It looks like we've got, I'm gonna say, a good 300. But if we put these shims behind there, I think we're gonna be golden. So you gotta slide these 3 shims. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. There's 3 of them, and they're gonna have to go behind that, between the bolt and the pad. It's another Keebler elf issue. So I'm not going to attempt to do this. No sense doing this unless I have the right converter bolts. So I think what I'll probably do is try to glue these together, I guess, and then use a set of 90-degree needle nose, maybe, and get these in behind between that bolt. And then you don't have much room. They don't leave you any room. So anyway, we're gonna leave it. I'd have the bolt in here temporarily, because now it was hell trying to move the converter and find the right bolt hole. So now they got that. We're gonna go ahead and stop, order converter bolts, and then we'll move to the next item. All right, another thing here. You are not going to get these bell housing bolts in unless you got this transmission down as far as possible. Those 2 top ones that are up at the very top, there's no way you're gonna get in from the top with that Hemi sitting in there. It's almost impossible because those bolts are under the tunnel. They're under that tunnel, and man, we tried every which way but loose, but had to let the transmission, remove the cross member, let it back down, and finally Trish got her. We had to come along from way back here with a 1/4 inch drive, and I had to put tape on my little swivel, and then she had to get up there and use her finger to guide it into the little bitty hole to find it. Finally, man, if it wasn't for her, there's no way that we got in there. So they're all torqued down now. Now we're gonna put our cross member back on and get this thing cinched up, hopefully leave it alone. Now again, we may have to take it back down again because this plug, right now I get the right plug on, but obviously I had the wrong plug. It's par for the course for me, had the wrong parts. So I got to call Holly and ask him about this, the harness I have with the fitting I have. So yay me, I'm happy for that. But let's get this cross member back on, and then let's go to the next step. I think we're going to call this a wrap for today. We've got some decisions we got to make, but for today, you saw we got the transmission installed. It's in. It's now mounted. Got all the bell housing bolts in. So starting up here, I'm going to have to order some torque converter bolts. And UGM guys tell me when you had to put shims between the converter and the flex plate, I know what they're talking about. If you pull that converter back up too far, it's probably got like an annulus or an over something that's going to pull the pump or pull it out of the pump, something. But how in the hell do you get those shims back in there? Maybe I'll glue them together, but by reading the directions, we're definitely going to have to run the shims, and I do not want to have to pull this thing back out. So we got to get torque converter bolts. We're going to need to get our cross member bolts. I've just got some in there that are temporary at the moment. And then once we get this done, then we can get our starter on. And then we got to start routing our cooler lines. And I'm going to ask you guys, you tell me what I would like to know from my Mopar A-body friends. Where are you guys mounting your cooler? You know, I've got my AC condenser. I really don't want to put it in front of the condenser, because then the condenser may not, I've just got hot air in front of the condenser and a condenser in front of the radiator. So if y'all think that it doesn't hurt anything to do that, then let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think. You know, I could go somewhere up here or something, but geez, man, I don't know. Is there another place? I'm not seeing a lot of places, but it would be nice if, you know, it could be mounted somewhere where it's not going to get hit, but it's out of the way. So let me know that in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments what you think about the new A41 SilverSport. Yes, 4060E transmission behind our G3 Hemi. So it is moving, man. That Barracuda is coming along. So if you hadn't already, this is going to be part one of the A41 installation into your Mopar 67 through 69A body. So let me know what you think in the comments, and please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, everybody.